Hi, I'm Paula from Paula's DIY Decor and welcome to my channel. I'm the crafter from Down Under and today I've got 3 fabulous beach decor DIYs to celebrate summer. So for my first DIY, I'd love to share with you how I made this fabulous beach-inspired boho canvas. Now to get started, you're going to need some canvas squares. In my case, I used a 12 by 12 canvas, and you're going to need some jute cord, some hot glue and some scissors. I cut the jute cord down to the size of my canvas, and then I realised that the jute cord was just a little bit too thick, so I unwound the jute cord and created 3 nice and fine jute string pieces. Now normally in creating this piece you would wind the jute cord all the way around the canvas, but I didn't have enough jute cord on me, so I did have to hot glue the pieces down only on one side of this canvas. But if you've got enough jute cord in your stash, then loop the jute cord all the way around for a nice clean finish. So starting at the top edge, I just lay down some hot glue, and using 3 strings at a time, I just glued down the jute cord pieces or the jute string in a horizontal fashion, and I lay down enough strings to create about 1 inch wide worth of jute string. Then I turned the canvas to the right and I started to lay the jute string perpendicular to the first layer of jute string. So the pattern for this canvas is literally a crisscross pattern all the way around. So I lay down jute string on one side and then flipped it over and lay the next jute string on the other side. But in order to create this really interesting crisscross pattern, so it looks like it's tucked in under each other, and you'll see what I mean in a moment, it's best if you actually lay down the jute string on the opposite sides as you're working along. So don't do immediately crisscross, do top, bottom, left, right, top, bottom, left and right. And that way you can start to create an overlay and then an underlay pattern all throughout this canvas design. So you can see I'm really starting to get the rhythm now of laying down the jute cord, top, bottom, left and right, and it's starting to create that overlay, underlay sort of squarish checkered pattern. But to give it a little bit more interest and a little bit more of a boho feel, I had some white cotton string on hand. It's actually knitted wool, cotton wool, to make a cotton jumper with, and I just lay down 4 strings as part of one of my patterns here. So I had the jute cord, 4 strings of white or cream cotton string, and then I continued on with the jute so that I had that beautiful white stripe in between the jute cord. And you can see here then I flipped it over again and I started the pattern laying down some cotton jute, and then you'll see soon that I added some more of the white string in between the jute, and I started to create a little bit of interest with some white stripes that were interspersed throughout this design. If you're liking this video, please give me a thumbs up. It goes a long way to help my channel. And if you're new to this channel, please consider subscribing to my channel. I love to make home decor, seasonal decor, and beautiful tablescapes. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and leaving me those wonderful messages. In the description box below, I love to read all of your comments, and especially I love to read what you're planning to do with these DIYs and the inspirations that make you go ahead and do some wonderful creations of your own. So here you can see me now finishing the crisscross pattern, and it looks absolutely beautiful. It's so professional. It's so clean and easy, very boho, very beach. But to really top it off, I found these beautiful beach starfish in my local craft store, and just using some hot glue, I just adhered this beautiful starfish to the center of this boho canvas, this beach canvas. Now when I flipped it over, it was very messy, so I just cut down all of the string, and using some painter's tape, I just covered up all of those loose strings. Now be sure to use some stronger tape. I just couldn't find it for the moment, but it kept it nice and tidy and ready for display. And here's the finished project, a beautiful beachy, cheery boho canvas that you can put up on your wall or on your shelf all year round. Now for my second DIY, I want to share with you how I used the rest of my rope to make a beautiful beach boho rope chain decor. Now you're going to need some jute twine or some jute rope, and you're going to need some of this cotton rope. Some of you might know it as marine rope. So what I did was I only had a little bit of rope left, so I just laid down a jute cord and then some of that marine cord in the middle, and then flanked it with another jute cord to create this lovely brown and white design. Now it's only about 22 inches long, so I just cut the rope down into 3 even lengths, and then using my hot glue I just tidied up some of those loose fraying edges, because the jute cord and the marine cord does tend to fray a little bit, so a little bit of hot glue at the end keeps it nice and tight together. And then once all of the edges were nicely sealed, I then used my hot glue to start to create the chain shapes. So all I did was pop some hot glue at the end of one side of the rope, and then connected it to the other side of the rope with that hot glue, and that's it. This is the easiest DIY. I know that boho, or I should say chain table decor, is all the rage at the moment, and you've seen it in clay styles or metal styles, but I thought I might make some of these chains using some of this boho rope. So all I did was create a second chain. Again, I just cut down some of the frayed edges and then hot glued it all together again. I did it 3 times, and there you have it. I created a beautiful 3-chain boho rope that you could display on a shelf or on a tiered tray or on your mantle or wherever you like. I thought it turned out absolutely stunning and really ready for summer. So for my third DIY, I thought I'd really amp up the summer vibes and create this beautiful relax sign, this beautiful blue and white summer sign. So to get started, I just found some of these hanging signs in my local discount store. I used an assortment of light through to dark blue paints and some popsicle sticks to adhere the sign together. So I flipped over this sign that I found in my discount store, cut off the backing. I didn't bother taking off the connecting the connecting ribbons and the different staples. I thought it was just too much work, really. So using some chopped popsicle sticks, I then just hot glued those popsicle sticks together. I used 5 different panels, and using the popsicle sticks, it actually brought the entire sign together. So all I did then was take my white paint and I covered up all of the writing. I could have used my sandpaper, but I couldn't find my sanding block. I don't know what goes on. It's a crafter's nightmare. You end up creating so much stuff in your craft room, and then all of a sudden you just can't find all the things that you need. But nevertheless, I need to get more organised so that I can find all of the things that I can find. And I just used some white paint, and once it was dried, it covered all of that writing, and then I got to work creating this beautiful beach design. Now, my idea here was to create sand leading into water, leading into the blue sky. So I started off with a beautiful sand colour acrylic paint at the bottom, and then I moved through into some light blue, and then some medium coloured blue, and then some darker blue, with mixing in with a bit of black to create the depth of the ocean, and then back out to the light blue of the sky. Now, I am not a painter, not at all, but I found that blending is the secret to this type of DIY. So all I did was I just continued to blend and blend and blend, using my white to lighten it up where it needed to, using some of that dark blue to deepen the hues of the sea. So really just play with it, have some fun. If it doesn't work out, you can just start again by painting the entire sign white again and start again. Honestly, for a couple of dollars, it's not worth stressing over the design. So I just had fun with it, and then I used some white paint to edge the design. And then I found I had it's actually a grout pen. I don't have a white paint marker, but using this grout pen, which was a white grout pen, it did exactly the job that I needed it to do. So I created Relax, RELAX, using this white pen. It wasn't quite as dark as I needed it, so I went back over it with a very fine paintbrush and some white paint just to make it stand out a little bit more, but it gave me the initial starting point for the words. Now, if you've got a Cricut, by all means cut out the word relax. I just decided to paint it straight on, but you can use your Cricut, or you can use some rub-on transfers, or you can use some stick-on words, whatever takes your fancy. Then I went back over the sign once it was dry, giving it a really nice white brushing over to give it a bit more of a distressed feel. And then once I was done distressing the sign, making sure that I went with my white paint to just really make the joins of the sign stand out a little bit more, I used some of this very, I think it's 120 sand grit paper. It was actually really at the end of its time, so it left a little bit deeper grooves than I had wanted, but it actually ended up looking really rustic towards the end of it, so I was really happy with it. So once I sanded it down, it gave it a total rustic feel, very beachy, and I was really delighted with the kind of worn look to this sign. Hang the sign, I just used some nautical rope and some hot glue, and then just used a bit of paper to adhere the glue and the rope onto the back of the sign. It's always really nice as well to cover up the back of your projects with some brown paper or with some contact paper. It just makes it look nice and finished. So here's the sign all complete. I just added this beautiful starfish using some hot glue to the sign, and there's the finished product. A lovely, relaxing, blue, beachy sign that you can hang anywhere in your home, especially through summer. And I tell you, looking at it makes me want to go to the beach right now. I just love those beautiful blue hues. It makes me think of the beach and of island holidays. Oh, I just want to go into the warmth. I hope you've enjoyed all of the DIYs today and are inspired to do the same. Let me know in the comments what you think and what you're planning to do next. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.